All right. We are live on YouTube. And now we're going to go live here for our podcast. I'm going to hit record. 3, 2, 1. All right. Welcome back to the 7 Generation Podcast. This is Dr. B. I'm sitting down today with a guest who has been on the show before. How you doing, Mel?
Doing good, coach. Doing real good.
Good to see you.
It's good to be back.
So Mel came over to visit with me, and we decided that we would run it back again. This is our third time here. So we did the episode on Mel's barbecue, which everybody, if you're watching this, you can check that out. It's one of the best times that I had doing some filming. I was able to film Mel, talk about his barbecue, and we'll kind of get an update about what Mel's barbecue is up to lately these days. And then we did a podcast together as well.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That
So
went great, really good.
so this is our second podcast together, man. So how you been?
Good, just staying busy, and as always, trying to, stay busy and stay focused, and still training.
Yeah,
Feeling great.
it's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you've been training jujitsu. You're back. You broke your hand.
Yeah.
We had talked about that. Your first competition.
Yeah.
You broke your hand. Unfortunately, it happens, Mel. It
Yeah.
happens. How is your hand feeling?
Actually, the other day I mentioned it to a friend that I would wake up in the morning, my hand would feel like numb, or it would be like hurting a little bit, and then it'd go away, and then it'd come back. And I've actually woke up like past couple of days, and I didn't really feel that, so I know it's getting better. Like,
oh man, that's a really really good sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never really had any. I've probably broken a finger or two in jujitsu, but I broke my foot a while. I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, and I remember I dealt with that same issue as well. It took me a while to get it back to completely 100%.
Like, to normal. Like,
Yeah.
And it's weird because like it'll hit you like, hey, wait, my hand doesn't hurt. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, but it definitely feels good.
So, do you have full range of motion with your hand as well? How does that feel? Do you feel like it's 100%, 99, 98%? What do you think?
I'm gonna say it's about 90%.
Okay.
Yeah, because like my pinky, like the only thing is like if I push it back, see, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then like last week, I couldn't do that.
Well, that's good.
You know what I mean?
That's
so like
good.
that feels really good because before it would hurt. Like,
so when you came back, I put you with the tennis balls.
Yeah, I think that made me better.
and then I ended up getting hurt at the gym. So I've been out of commission for the last 5.5 weeks or so, and you have resumed your training, which really makes me super happy. Obviously, Mel's barbecue is taking off. You bought a second smoker, right? And you also purchased a canopy as well. Pretty nice canopy, man.
Super cool.
Super cool.
Display it yesterday at one of my events, and everybody just was coming up to me and giving me like really good compliments on it. And asking about jiu-jitsu too as well.
Yeah. So you can tell them what you did with the canopy, because this, like, man, just warms my heart. You have no idea.
Yeah. So I actually, incorporated 7th generation on my canopy and displayed it on there to help promote the gym, because you and your family and everyone at the gym has been such a blessing to me and my family, and it's just really good to be able to help promote the gym and give back and just to share what I've gone through, before training, how my life was, and then coming into training jiu-jitsu, coming into the gym, and just meeting all of you guys, and to be able to share that with people that I meet when I do my vendor events. And
yeah, well, you have no idea just how, I guess, grateful I am. When you sent me the video, I was like completely blown away. It's just really amazing. And I've had a few people reach out to me, and they're like, "Hey, man, I saw your Instagram on Mel's barbecues on their canopy." And
that's awesome.
And so people have already seen it,
cool.
have reached out, and yeah, man, I'm really obviously rooting, for you and your business. I know you've taken quite a few steps forward in the last few months. Maybe you can share some of that with us.
Yeah. So I've just been trying to implement new ways to grow my business, and it's been going pretty good. Like I said, I got my canopy going. my barbecue pit that when you got to come over and hang out with me, we cooked on. I actually made that mobile the day before yesterday. It's mobile,
Nice.
so we're gonna be putting that into my events. So now you'll be going to my events. You'll be seeing my barbecue pit
Man,
out
I
there.
can't
So
wait. So the plan is, and again, we had talked a little bit about this. I hope you're still down. For me to go there to one of your events, take my equipment, and then we can do another episode.
yeah, I think that'll be really awesome to have you come out and we can just hang out and have a good time because we always have a
Yeah.
good time. Barbecue, meet people.
Exactly.
And I think it'll be really fun, to have you out there with me at one of our events. So
Man, outstanding. And so, how about your menu? How have you made any adjustments to that, if any?
so my menu, when we did our podcast the last time, we talked about um my teriyaki chicken bowls that I was gonna be bringing into my menu, and my tri-tip bowls. So I got to actually bring that out this past Thursday
Nice.
at Art Hop, and we sold out.
Oh man,
And
that's so cool.
I was so nervous because I made it at home and I tried it and it was really good. I let my family try it and they were like, "This is gonna be really good." And I even shared it with you.
Yeah.
And when I brought it out to Art Hop, I was a little bit nervous when I was looking over, seeing people eat it, and I was like, "Oh, did they like it? Are they gonna like it or not?" But a lot of people were coming up to me and telling me that it was just really good. And
Oh man, I mean, a rice bowl with beef or chicken is classic.
yeah,
But with your chicken, the way that
Yeah.
you season it, the way that you smoke it, and your tri-tip, which is to me the best tri-tip hands down
Thank you.
that I have had here in the Central Valley. I mean, this is where I eat whenever I go places, I wouldn't even know where else I would go to eat tri-tip, but I've had a lot of tri-tip over the years. And even I cooked some tri-tip recently, and I was like, "Damn, man, it's not even close as good as Mel's."
Thank you, coach.
Yeah, I was just like, "Oh man," I was like, "Man," I'm like, the taste that your tri-tip has, the seasoning, and the way that you prepare it, it's just bomb. It really is. So I can imagine that over rice. Oh man, with
the greens,
the greens, the barbecue sauce,
it's
man,
really good.
man.
Yeah,
Man,
it was
and
really
then the chicken too.
Mhm.
Your chicken as well. I mean, man, your chicken thighs are just bomb.
Yeah,
Are bomb.
yeah, I love it. I was excited to just new ideas because I just don't want my barbecue to just be like just my tri-tip with my sides. I want to do different things, but
Yeah.
implement my tri-tip with it. The winter's coming, and I have a couple more items to bring out, so we'll be seeing that pretty soon. And I think it's going to
Very
be
cool.
really awesome just to have a different variety of things on my menu.
Yeah, I think that having your base with your tri-tip and your chicken, and then experimenting outside of that, but around what you do well, that's probably gonna be a good way to approach it. I know that for me, I'm big time carnivore and love beef. I like chicken too, but my preference is definitely beef, and you just can't go wrong with that. It's hard to go wrong with it. But then when you prepare it the way that you prepare it, then it's like it's next level. It's next level. So what goes into experimentation? How long does it take before you try something and then feel like, okay, you know what, I'm comfortable now in putting that out to the general public?
For me, it takes a little while, and like for my teriyaki chicken bowls and my tri-tip bowls, I had the idea of it, and I was like, this sounds good. Like I'm gonna cook it one day, and then I had to get down. I had to perfect my rice because that was kind of like difficult, for me. But it took me a while. It took me like I want to say at least half a year. I had the idea in my head. Finally, I did it, and then I got it down to how I wanted it, and then I let some of the family try it, and then I just went from there. But for me, it takes a while.
Yeah,
because I think like maybe sometimes I kind of stop myself from doing it, like because it is really good, but I'm just like kind of worried like how are people gonna like it? Like
yeah, of course.
like I was to take it out like to an event, and I was just like super nervous because nobody's ever tried it before, and that's like a really nervous feeling.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Like, are people going to want to buy it? Are people going
Yeah.
to, when they do buy it, how are they going to react to it?
Hmm.
No, without a doubt. But that is a great combination. I mean, who doesn't like rice? I
Yeah.
mean, rice is bomb.
Yeah.
And then of course with your barbecue over it, man, that it's just something that I figured that this was going to be a hit, because when you were talking to me about it, I was just like, man, like a really good combination.
Hmm.
But you basically do it all. I mean, you do all the different
Yeah.
sides, and yeah, you can cater for a small group, cater for a big group.
Hmm.
What is your preference? Like, what do you enjoy doing? I guess one thing, like, obviously you want to make your customers happy, but just for you, like, what makes you happy about whatever it is that's involved in barbecue?
For me, honestly, what makes me happy is being able to meet people and share my food with them. Because it just to see them, enjoy my food, and it makes them happy. But not only that, just to meet people, we have different conversations, and about life. Maybe somebody might be going through something, and I feel like I could help them in a way, because maybe I've been through something that they've been through, and just to be able to share and talk with them, and just to let them know that, hey, it's gonna be okay, and um, I pushed through it. I believe you can too, because I've
Yeah.
had interesting conversations with people.
And the way that you're very much in the front. So a lot of people, like a regular restaurant, you're in the chef's in the back, doesn't
Hmm.
always come out to talk to people
Yeah.
because they're busy, right?
Hmm.
Doing what they do. And but you get to interact with your
Hmm.
customers. You get to be right there,
Hmm.
giving them the food. And that's what I love
Yeah,
about pop-ups,
I
man,
love it. Yeah,
because there's Wapapa's Kitchen, which is a restaurant. I'd love to take you there one of these
yeah.
days,
Let's do it.
and it's up in Oakland. I've never even been, but I've had her food before, and she's somebody that I have a lot of respect for.
Okay.
But what's really cool is when she does a pop up, like, she's right there. You can
Hmm.
actually talk to her. This person who's like really super cool and does this really amazing food and whatnot. And she has a restaurant up in Oakland, and it's called Wapapa's
That's
Kitchen.
awesome.
Yeah, she does some barbecue as well, but she's really great chef.
Hmm.
But when she does her pop ups, she's there to talk to you. You can
Yeah,
say what's up and have a
yeah.
conversation with her and whatnot. And that, I don't know, that's really really cool. It's a lot different than if you were just in the back, never getting to interact with your
Hmm.
your customers. But you
Yeah.
get to see them when they see
Interact
their
with them.
food,
Yeah.
man. Get to converse with them and whatnot.
Even
Yeah.
online too. Like they'll add me on Instagram, and I'll add them back, and we'll just have conversations.
That's cool.
Just I love to interact and meet new people, and just it's a good feeling. I
That's
love it.
super cool. So who can you maybe tell us a story, like one of the most interesting people you've met out and about selling Mel's barbecue?
Hmm. I'll say, well, I mean, I could say I met a guy yesterday, and
Okay.
we kind of had um, a conversation just about life, and helping each other, and just being able to interact with him, because to be honest with you, it kind of looked like he might have been going through something, and just to kind of uplift him, and just to be positive with him,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
a good feeling. And I actually met a guy like was it about 2 months ago. He was another pop-up vendor, and he had his food truck, and he was sitting next to me, and I had my little tent at the time, and he came out, and he was like, "Hey, you want some chicken?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he brought over, gave me chicken. He had chicken and rice and some like spicy sauce on it. And then here I am coming, and I'm sharing my food with him.
I love it.
And he just came out like maybe about a little while later, and we just had a full blown, like, I want to say it was almost like 2 hour
Oh
conversation.
man,
Just
that's incredible.
he was telling me about how he started. He was telling me, he said, "I had nothing, bro." Like, he had a whole food truck and everything. I'm looking at this. He's like at least 26, 27, and he was like just telling me how he started, and the things that he's gone through in life, and how he just kept moving forward, and it was very inspiring to me.
Oh man,
I'll
that's amazing. That's incredible. So when you do go to events where there are other vendors, like food vendors, do you guys typically get along? Do you get to typically talk to other people?
We do, yeah. It's actually cool because we'll share food with each other.
I love
You
it.
know, I'll take my barbecue to some of the vendors, and a lot of them buy and support, and we buy from each other.
I love
It's really
that,
cool. Somebody's selling like coffee, iced coffee. I'll go buy some coffee, and then they'll come buy a sandwich, or we'll buy something else, and that's just kind of how we interact with each other,
man.
which is really cool.
Yeah, that's really great. That's a very, because I know nothing about the food industry, food community, and whatnot, but I could imagine it could probably get fairly competitive in some spaces.
Mhm,
But it is cool that y'all are supporting each other,
mhm.
or at least you can learn from one another and be able to have conversations and whatnot. Because that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that, by the way. So before we started the show, you and I were talking about just helping each other,
Mhm,
and how when getting to wherever you get to in life, you never do it alone. Like
mhm,
for me, I feel like I've done a lot with my life. I'm very proud of the things that I've accomplished, but I would be an absolute crazy person to say that, oh, I did this on my own,
mhm.
that, I did this with very little help. No, I had tons of help. I had so many people mentoring me.
It's good.
I had so many people who took the time to sit and talk with me and share knowledge and
Mhm.
pass on their experiences that helped me out. People who just did amazing things for me to
That's
help me
awesome.
get to where I'm at. And it's I think a kind of a lost part of our culture, unfortunately, because we have this me first, very self-centered type of society that we have built, and we've kind
Yeah.
of deluded ourselves into thinking that when we accomplish something, it's all on our own accord and hard work.
Mhm,
Yes, obviously, I put in a lot of hard work to get to where I'm at,
mhm.
but without the help of others, that hard work is meaningless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really important. And that's how I feel too. Like, even when I meet other vendors, I want to help them, and I think that's how it should be. We should all help each other, you know, if it's like, getting them another gig or introducing them to someone that I know that can bring them into, like a paying gig or something like I believe that's very important that we all network with each
Yeah.
other and
I agree.
not to worry about like, oh, is this person gonna take business from me?
Yeah.
That's not really how I see it. I just see it like just helping each other, and you know I know my food's good, and I get to share that with people, and there's enough for us all to eat.
That's right. Yeah. I think that's such a good point. There's enough for everybody. I want everybody to win. I want everybody to be successful
Mhm,
in their endeavors. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to be successful, because we've talked about this. Like, you're going to make mistakes,
mhm,
and sometimes those mistakes are going to help you grow and learn.
mhm,
And so that way you could do better the next time around. But at the end of the day, I really love it when I see people who put themselves out there and succeed. And I just feel like if we had more of
mhm.
that in our society, it'd be a better place for
Yeah.
everybody, for our kids, for
Mhm,
our family members. But this hyper competitive culture that we've built
mhm.
in American society, I don't know how healthy it is. I don't know how sustainable it is. And I feel like in many cases, it's just destroying community
Yeah.
and destroying like the trust that people have within one another.
Mhm,
And that's really an unfortunate kind of side effect from this kind of hyper individualistic world that we live in. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we were just talking about this.
mhm,
It feels good to help others.
mhm.
There's science behind this, like lending a hand to somebody else, being altruistic. It feels good.
Mhm.
It makes you less depressed and
Yeah,
more
yeah.
happy. And I think that um, there's a reason why we live in a country that has all this depression and all this
Mhm.
anxiety and all these negative things, but yet we have all this stuff, right? We
Yeah.
have all this wealth and money, but you have people who aren't happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it has a lot to do with the culture that we've created, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, uh, I'm really proud of what you've
Thank you.
accomplished in a short time. Now, I'm sure it has had to come with some obstacles. Like, has there been any like challenges that you've been faced with lately? Anything that you can share with others about this journey that you've been on?
Honestly, I'd say definitely with the food industry, food business industry, just learning, going because you have to go through the county for certain things, and it could be a lot just to with all the paperwork and
Oh, I
trying
can
to
imagine.
figure it out, and you know other like farmers market, I'll say, or other markets like that, they won't allow you to vendor there if you don't have the right paperwork, and then like I go to the county to ask them exactly what I need, and the county tells me, well, we don't provide that. It's so like confusing,
Oh my God.
and then you're just
Wow.
like, you feel like giving up, and then that'll put you down a little bit, like you're just like, oh man, like I'm not gonna be able to do this. But then you just can't let that stop you. I just keep grinding and doing what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and that's been a really big obstacle for me.
Yeah, I could imagine, when you're dealing with food, you can see why there's a lot of regulations and whatnot.
Hmm.
But I'm sure that could kind of take away the love of what you do,
Hmm.
having to do the business side. And again, I was just talking with you about like the jujitsu
Hmm.
and how when I trained jujitsu, that was like my form of whatever stress reliever. It was
Hmm.
a hobby that I just loved doing because man, it just provided me with so many benefits.
Yeah.
Just good health because you got to work out and
Hmm.
get your heart rate up and sweat. Kept your weight down because you're burning all kinds of calories. You know how
Hmm.
jujitsu is.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
tough activity to do. It keeps you in really good shape.
Yeah.
But then, 7 years ago, I start the business, and it becomes um, less about just training jujitsu because I love it,
Hmm.
and more about, well, I have to handle these day to day things
Yeah.
because the business side of it has to get done,
Hmm.
and I own the business, so I
Yes.
have to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
So then that's taking you away from like the love of what you why you even started it.
Hmm.
And has that been something that you've had to get over that hurdle, or do you feel like, man, no, I'm motivated as ever?
I'd say, to be honest with you, that's probably something that I'm experiencing now. When it comes to the business side of it, and what I want to accomplish in the future, getting a restaurant, getting a food truck,
Yeah,
and just thinking about it can cause you to lose motivation because it's really
yeah,
stressful.
yeah.
Um,
No, it is. It is. No, trust me. There's times. Again, we were just talking about this before we started the podcast, and it is stressful. Running a business is not.
mhm,
It's not easy, and there's a lot that goes into it. And I always tell anybody who's looking to start a business, man, go for it.
mhm,
Start your own business. But there's also a lot that goes into it that you have to learn, that
mhm,
you have to comply with. You're having to
mhm.
comply with all the food regulations,
Yeah,
right? And man, that's not always easy. It's not
yeah,
always fun. And sometimes it just straight up sucks,
yeah,
right?
it does. It really does.
Yeah. So it's always important to remember why you're doing it and think about um, the benefits that bringing you and your family and
Hmm.
that you also get for it. And then also just the love of doing what you do. And that's
Hmm.
what what I try to take myself back to when the gym gets stressful. And it has been over the last couple of years, been very, very stressful because it's grown,
Hmm.
and growth is a good thing.
Yes.
But when you're doing family, and I had another full-time job, still have a full-time job.
Yeah.
I'm going back next week. My vacation's over, which sucks, by the way. But um and you know, you have to run this business. Nobody else is going to run it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not just about cooking food and cooking
Hmm.
bomb tri-tip like you do. You have other things that you have to do that is going to make your business successful.
Mhm.
My advice to you, just keep pushing, like you're saying, keep grinding, and don't forget why you got into it
Yes.
in the first place. And that's what keeps me going with jujitsu, because there's been some days where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't
Mhm.
want to do the business side of it. It's just not fun.
Mhm.
And I just want to train jujitsu and have a good time. But the business, like you said, it's not just going to just run itself.
Yeah.
So, you just keep on reminding yourself on why you're doing it. And then
Mhm.
also too, and this is very important, just surround yourself with people who are going to
Yes.
support you.
Always.
People who are going to be there for you when things aren't always going so well, are going to help you get over some of the mental hurdles. Because
Mhm.
I've had some low days as a business owner where
Yeah.
I'm like, did not feel good about myself at all.
Mhm.
And it was always the people that cared about me the most that helped me get over those times.
Mhm. And yeah, that's very important. And something for me was like not letting. Sometimes you get nervous, or you have not letting the fear stop you from doing something. And like for instance, like I was telling you earlier, I had 2 events in one day, and I was just super nervous. Like, how am I going to pull this off? How am I going to pull this off? There's
Which
no
is a
way.
good problem to have, right? Two
Yeah.
events, 2 events is a good problem.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's logistics that go into it.
Mhm. So I was thinking, how am I going to pull this off? And at the end of the day, I did it. I pushed through that doubt. I pushed through that fear. I didn't let it stop me. I figured out how I was going to work that out, and it worked. And when the day was over, I felt accomplished. Like I knew I could do it. I was doubting myself to see if I was gonna be able to, but I knew I could do it, and I pushed through it.
Man, that's beautiful. And I'll say this too, when I've watched you cook and I've watched you prepare food, because I spent that whole day with you from
Yeah.
the morning all the way till the evening,
Yeah,
right?
it was a fun
It
time.
was so much fun, but I did do some reflecting on it. And I was like, you know what, man, you made it look easy. You did. And I know wasn't easy because
I was just in my zone.
you had food prepared the night
Yeah.
before. And I was just like, man, I'm like, he made this look really, really easy. And you didn't look stressed out. The elements weren't the best because rain was pouring down.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, you just kept pushing and kept going. And your your energy never changed ever that
Yeah.
entire day. Man, I was like, when I saw that, I was just like, this is a good sign. He's going to be successful at this,
Mhm.
because it just like you had the same
you.
energy from the start to the finish. That cannot be easy,
Yeah.
especially when you're preparing food.
Yeah. It can be very challenging, and then when I make my deliveries to a birthday event, and I get a text from, a friend that I did it for, and he tells me, you're, keep doing what you're doing. Your business is gonna go somewhere. It's growing. Like your food's amazing. Like that's why I do it. Just
Man,
it makes people happy, and just to push forward.
yeah, I love that. And making people happy is a very great goal in
Mhm.
life with the work that you do. And I feel like we need more people like that who
Mhm.
want to do work that is going to bring a smile to
Mhm.
somebody's face. So many people do things in their life, bro, where it gives them no joy whatsoever.
Mhm.
None. All it does is just pay the bills,
Mhm.
it buys them food, keeps the light on, brings them zero joy. And to be
Yes.
doing something to where, man, you're bringing joy to people. And what better way to do it is through food. Man, I mean, it's such it's a universal thing. We all
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah. I love
and
it.
and it's just something that it is, food is more than just fuel for the body, man. It's a way that
Mhm.
brings people together. It's a way that people
Interact.
celebrate.
Yeah.
It's
Have
a
a
way,
good time.
man, have a good time, and you get to provide that for people.
Yeah. I love it.
That's a badass service, man.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
that's a badass profession. I have so much respect for people who do food, and that's their living, because you got to be passionate about that to do
Mhm.
it, because of all the hoops that you have to jump through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there people that you've ran into in the food business, or where you're like, oh man, I want to be kind of like that person? Is there anybody like that?
Um. Like as far as like them wanting to be like
Yeah, you just looking at somebody, it could be on social media or somebody famous, where just like, oh, that person's really inspiring.
for me, to be honest with you, I I wanted to be like I like the like how Nipsey Hussle like would always talk about like
Okay.
hustling, making his business from nothing and growing from one place and moving to another and just becoming successful and just never giving up and keep grinding. Like a lot of that was my motivation. Like when I started my business, that's what I was like. I would listen to his music all the time, like, and it was very inspiring to me. So
Yeah, Nipsey was a great one.
yeah.
Was a great one, and he was such a grassroots kind of person too,
Mhm.
community oriented,
For
just
the
about
community too, he enjoyed,
yes,
had his brand, made his brand, and
loved his people,
yeah.
wanted to give back. He wanted to help others.
Mhm.
Dope rapper on
Yeah.
top of that, but man, talk about a growth mindset.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, we really lost out on an opportunity to see where that greatness would have gone to. Who
Mhm.
knows what he would be doing
Yeah.
today? Because
Yeah.
he was barely just scratching the surface,
Mhm.
and the way that he was doing it too. Because Nipsey was one of those guys, and this is why I respect Nipsey Hussle, because I feel like he was one of those dudes. He did it his way.
Exactly.
He did it his way. Probably a lot of people who probably gave him different advice. Oh, you need to do this. You need to do that, and he did it Nipsey's way. And
Mhm.
that's why he's remembered today,
Yeah.
not just because of his music, but just because of the fact that the way that he made moves and the way that he operated. And
Mhm.
man, that nothing but respect to
That's what I
him.
love about it, and he never let it where he was at. He never let that change who he was. He was
That's
always
right.
the same person,
That's
and
right.
that's very important.
Yeah, that is very important. Always trying to appease everybody by changing your personality and
Mhm.
trying to be something you're not. That never works out.
Yeah.
That
Always,
never. It's
always be you.
always be yourself, man. Be
Yeah.
be who you are. Now there are some people who need to make adjustments
Yeah.
because maybe the
That's
person they
true.
aren't isn't the best.
Mhm.
We should always be trying to make improvements, but yeah, I mean, obviously, there is that impression management that we have to do in certain
Mhm.
situations. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's better if you're a good person,
Mhm.
man, don't ever lose that part of you, because
Yes.
people are going to see that, and people are going to gravitate to that.
Mhm.
I mean, even myself, I gravitated to you and
Yeah.
your
You as
family
well.
because of who I saw, you as a man, as a human being, and your mother and your children. I was just like, man, I love this family. You guys just like the most beautiful people,
Mhm.
and um, other
Thank
people
you.
see that as well, and they're gonna want to gravitate to the work that you do.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I teach that to my kids too, as I always tell them to, have a good heart and always try to do right, and to do the right thing, and don't ever let anybody take that away from you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah. And speaking of your children, let's talk about your son. Did his first
okay.
jujitsu tournament
Yeah.
as well, and it was such a validating moment for me as a jujitsu coach
Oh
to
yes.
see him. I can only imagine
Oh my
you
god.
as a father
Yeah, that was
watching your son. He took first place. He
yes.
got 2 submissions, and man, it was just so
Yeah.
amazing. If you are listening to this or you're watching this right now, let me tell you, I can't tell you just how incredible your
Mhm.
son did,
Thank
and
you.
I was so proud. I can only imagine. So
Yeah.
tell me about how you felt about it.
Um, my heart just dropped because I was just like, I was trying not to cry, and I was just so proud of him, just so proud of him because he's been through a lot, and like I talked about it before. He was being bullied at school, and just to see him, the expression on his face, and he looked up at me like he was just so excited, and I was like, oh my god, like so happy and just very, 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 very proud of him and who the kind of young man he is. Like,
Yeah. How did your family react? Because your whole family was
yeah,
there.
they
Were
were
there?
excited. My sister was like, my sister's very loud, and I was like, you cannot be loud when he's doing it because he has to listen to his coaches. Okay, she was like, I was so mad I couldn't scream, but yeah, they were so excited and happy for him too. he was very happy to have all of us there.
Oh
Everyone.
man, such a great experience,
Yeah.
and just so amazing to watch. And he
Mhm.
is a showman as well. Your son is a natural fighter,
Yeah.
has a natural athletic type of persona,
Hmm.
and to watch him go out there
It was like he
and
was calm, just very calm, and I
yes,
was like,
I was just like, wow, it was just I was like, man, this kid's on a whole nother level. It was really something else to watch. It's
yeah.
just how his whole approach to his match,
Hmm.
and he's only 9.
Yeah.
He's 9 years
Hmm.
old. He's only
Yeah.
a 9-year-old. Anyway, it was a very special moment for me as a coach, and I could only imagine just how you felt watching
Yeah. Just
him
very
compete.
blessed.
It was just really, really amazing, amazing moment, and can't wait to see him get out there again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and
We're
do it.
excited for it.
Yeah, do it
Next one.
again. Absolutely, absolutely. So, what are the next steps for you in terms of business?
Right now, just keep doing my events, and I have my barbecue pit that I barbecue on. I have it mobile, so I'm gonna bring that out, and that's gonna allow me to be more mobile. So that's my next move, is just to go get it, keep grinding, and
So, how far would you be able to travel to cook? You think?
I can go, LA. I can go to San
Oh, wow,
Jose.
really
Oh
cool.
yeah, like I had a guy actually. I had an event, a big event. It was that same day I did the two events actually. He was having a rap video in San Jose, and one of my friends reached out to me on Facebook to him, and I introduced myself to him, and he was asking me if I can go out there. But I had a day booked already, and I was like,
Wow,
man, that'd be super awesome. Like,
that
so he's gonna
would
hit
be
me back
awesome.
up like in the future. So
Man, that would be awesome.
yeah,
That
so
would be awesome. So you are mobile now. You can go. You can travel,
mhm.
and you can cook for large parties as well. We're not talking
Yes,
about a small group,
no, we
right?
can. Yeah, we can. I can cook up to over 200 people. I've
Yeah.
done for so.
So if you're looking for somebody here in the Central Valley, definitely hit up Mel's Barbecue, and he'll be out there.
Yes,
He'll be
yes,
out there.
excited.
And so tomorrow night, Monday, where are you going to be?
So for Monday, I'm doing the Monday mixer at Full Circle Brewery downtown, and it starts at 7. I'll be there a little bit earlier, but yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of local artists that comes out, other food vendors. My son Noah's actually gonna perform there too, so
So
it's gonna be
cool.
really cool.
Cool. Yeah. So your son is he's into hip hop. Your oldest son,
Yeah,
your
he's got like
eldest.
a different style. Like he raps, but then he sings. I need to ask him exactly what his
Oh,
music
I
is,
gotta
but
listen to his music now. Now I'm gonna really drill him. I mean, your son's a very knowledgeable
yeah,
person,
yeah,
very knowledgeable young man.
yeah.
He's
Especially with the
I know
UFC.
he's shared a lot with me, man. He has shared a lot, but he's like talked to me about like shoes, and he has a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
different interests and whatnot. So, yeah, no, your son is super cool, but he never mentioned the whole singing hip hop.
yeah. That's what he'll mention everything else, but his singing he'll kind of keep low key to it. But
Yeah,
he's really good, and
man, that's fantastic.
but I'll send you his information that way you can check him out.
Yeah, I'd love to check him out. And then, so he's going to be out there performing while you're out there
Barbecuing
barbecuing. Man,
our first event together, which is really awesome. Very
that's
very
fantastic.
proud to have that moment.
That's fantastic. And so, what about jujitsu? So you're getting back in jujitsu shape, I'm assuming.
Hmm.
And like I said, I haven't been around, and if you haven't been following any of my content, I've been out of commission for the last 5 weeks or so,
Mm.
and I just kind of took a step back just to get myself healthy and well again. And in that time, you were just kind of coming back to jujitsu,
Yeah,
and so how's this?
miss you being there.
Oh man,
Miss you.
again, we were talking about this before we started the show. Like, I really miss jujitsu so much, and I really have to just tell myself, just be patient,
Hmm.
take care of yourself. You're gonna make it back. It's really hard. It
Yeah,
really it's rough because I've been doing this for 20 years, been training
yeah,
for
it's a
20
long
years,
time.
and then I've never dealt with this kind of situation before. And it's kind of like I don't know exactly when what's happening to me is going to go away, so that
Mm.
way I could get back on the mat. But my mindset's very, very positive. And
That's
I was
good.
telling you that it's really, when it comes to anything that you have to overcome in life, and I know you've learned this through your time here, but anybody who's listening to this, life is not it's not easy.
Mhm.
It isn't. You're going to have your ups, and you're going to have your downs. You're going to have just some moments in your life where you just want to give up.
Mhm.
And when I first got injured, and I was in a really dark place,
Mhm.
and then I kind of came out of that. And then, I started dealing with a little bit of anxiety, just not knowing when my body was going to get healthy again,
Mhm.
and just battling that. It's just been this constant battle.
Mhm.
And I just been doing my best just to stay positive and making good, healthy changes in my life as well.
Yes.
And that's what I just want to encourage everybody, including you, if you ever get down when it comes to your business and the things that you're doing, you just got to believe in yourself. and
Mhm.
and that's what I am doing right now with me. Like, I believe that I can get myself back on my feet. I believe that I can overcome this thing that I'm dealing with.
Mhm.
It's just going to take time. And if I have a bad day, that's all right.
Yep.
It's okay not to be too hard on myself either. And I know that the business that you're involved in, and we were talking about this again before we did the show, and we just wanted to talk about it more. It could be very stressful,
Mhm.
be a very stressful thing. And so, is there something that you like to do just to kind of help overcome the anxiety and the stress of business, and trying to grow what you're doing, but also facing consistent obstacles as well?
Jiu-jitsu. I have to be honest.
Same.
But just that takes my mind off of a lot of things. You know, going to train jiu-jitsu and going to the gym. And when it comes to being stressful and my barbecue business, I have to find something that's gonna keep me busy and occupy my mind.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. And I'm around positive people. But that's I go and I train and I go to the gym and I do my business and I'm with my kids. Or I like to travel. I'll take road trips.
Yeah.
I'll do different things like that, and that really helps me to stay focused and to stay positive. So
Outstanding.
yeah.
Yeah. No, jujitsu is the best.
Hmm.
It's one
It
of the best
is.
hobbies you can ever take up. It really, really is.
Last week I went to kids class, and then I was like debating, am I going to come to adult class? I have an event tomorrow. I have to go to the store to get all my stuff and prepare it. And so I was leaving and I was telling Cal, I was like, I'm not going to be here today. I have an event tomorrow. And he was like, you said that yesterday. And so when I left and
Sounds like Kale.
I took the kids home, and I wasn't feeling good in my mind. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to go to class. And I said, you know what? I can make time for it. Like, I can go to class today. I went to class, felt so great. I got out of class. I felt so good about myself. I just felt really positive, and I still got what I needed to get done.
Wow.
And it just that's how I get through the stress for me.
Yeah. That's a great reminder too, to when you aren't feeling well, or
Hmm.
maybe things, maybe aren't great for people mentally,
Hmm.
and you pick yourself up and you go do the things that you love
Hmm.
anyway. And you can never go wrong with
Yeah,
that.
you can't.
Almost never. I'm not gonna say never, but
Yeah.
I can't ever recall thinking I didn't want to go train, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go do it anyway, and then walking away saying I should have never went and trained. It's always
Yeah.
been like, man, I'm so glad I did that. I
So
feel
glad I
so much
went.
better. I'm sweaty. My heart rate got up. I got those
Hmm.
good endorphins going, and that's really the power of jujitsu,
Hmm.
is that it could really give you that boost. And I always tell people, especially folks like you, like, you're a hobbyist, you're doing jujitsu as part of a good, healthy lifestyle.
Hmm.
And I always tell people, when you train, man, train the right way. Train to sweat, to get your endorphins going. Don't train to kill yourself and kill your body so you can't get up the next day
Hmm.
and do the things that you need to do. Train so you get those healthy benefits from it.
Yes.
Because, like anything else, I mean, jujitsu can become unhealthy if you're just destroying your body
Hmm.
and you're not training the right way. It could be a very unhealthy situation.
Yeah.
But man, if you're training like you are, where you're coming out of there feeling good,
Mhm.
and it's hard to explain the good
Yeah.
endorphins. I don't know how you would describe it, but it's like a euphoria
Yeah, it's
that you
just
get.
it's just like it's just a good positive feeling, you know. And for me, I slowed down a lot. Very, like you were telling me, be technical, and I take my
Yeah,
time. I'm not crazy or nothing, and I'm there to have a good time and to learn. And
yeah.
it's a very positive feeling.
Well, I miss those endorphins, that endorphin kick, whatever it is you get after the right kind of training session, where I'm in the car and I'm driving home and I feel like, man, I could do anything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go home and I'm gonna just go and do all the things I said I wasn't gonna do earlier in the
Yeah.
day, or I didn't want to do earlier in the day. You really get that feel. It's weird
Yeah.
because I've actually felt like that, like probably I would say thousands of times after training,
Mhm.
where I come out of training, I'm just like, I feel like I just conquered the world.
Yeah. That's how I felt when I went to the store after that day. I just felt really good, like
It's an interesting thing. If you train the right way, you can get those health benefits from it.
Mhm.
And I've also overtrained, where I come out of there and I'm just dead tired,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like doing anything. And that's where, you've kind of overdid it.
Mhm.
And so there's like that fine line between, training to get those good healthy benefits, and then thinking that you're going to get those healthy benefits by training a lot, and then you
Mhm.
end up kind of
Kinda just
doing the opposite.
yeah, it could hurt, hurt your body or just be super, like, burnt out.
Super burned out, you can be super tired.
Mhm.
And there are people who, who overtrain and don't feel good. They
Mhm.
wake up the next morning and they have a hard time making it through the day without being really exhausted. Well, that's not what we want.
Mhm.
We want you to wake up the next day and be like, man, I'm ready to tackle this day.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
for sure.
jujitsu has a lot of power to it if you do it the right way. Not everybody trains, unfortunately, the right way, including myself. Like, this is something that I had to learn over the years too, just to train, so that way I get the good health benefits and not overdo it. So
Mhm.
that way you can do it into your 80s and do it
Yeah,
for the rest of your life. Yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
So we were talking a little bit about, as well, before we started the show, a little bit about like dealing with anxiety and just the stress of life, right? So
Mhm.
besides jujitsu, what keeps you going? What keeps Mel on track to continue to pursue his goals and his dreams and all the things that you want to get out of life?
I'd say my kids, my family, and just knowing the goals that I want to accomplish that I haven't accomplished yet, and knowing that, I have to work hard, do it the right way, and just to keep going and never give up. And I always tell myself that, there's gonna be good and bad times, and I know that in my head already. Like, there's gonna come a day where I don't want to do this, or there's gonna come a day where I don't want to do this event, but I'm gonna do it anyways, because how else am I gonna accomplish or get to where I want to be if I don't do this? And not let that stop me. Those obstacles that come in my way, I'm not gonna let that stop me. I'm gonna keep pushing forward. Like, I want to be that person, so that way somebody who doesn't know, um, or has gone through that, I can sit there and tell them, you can do it because I did it, and let me show you how. Let me help you. That's I love that. Like, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I understand that feeling. And you're the kind of person who, when you come into people's lives, you bring a lot of light. And when people want to call it positivity or whatever, I wouldn't even call it positivity, but just bringing light, a sense of life is good,
Mhm,
that whatever it is that you are going through, that you can overcome it.
mhm,
And that, yeah, life isn't always going to be easy, and it's not supposed to be, and that's okay.
mhm,
But you can still accomplish the goals that you set for yourself, and you can still be able to find happiness even in maybe times that aren't so good.
mhm,
And I feel like that's what I really appreciate about you, because whenever I run into you and I talk to you at the gym all the time, I just see how much you bring to not just my life, but everybody at the gym. And we just need more people who are like that in this world.
Yeah.
We really, really do. Because a lot of people out there who are suffering and maybe don't have the family support. And you have such a beautiful mother, beautiful family, and you get that support and love. And maybe some people don't get that, And so whatever it is that you can do or I can do for others to bring some happiness to their lives, or to take some time maybe just to talk to them about how they can do things. We just need more of that in the world. Really
Yeah,
do.
we really do. And I feel like there's not enough of that. There's more hate. There's more of, bad things in the world than there is good. So to be able to help people is a blessing.
Yeah. There's so much divisiveness and, like you said, a lot of hate. And I think to be surrounded around people who care, man, that's a real blessing these days. That's a real blessing. And something I have been doing, Mel, just so you can let you know kind of my wellness journey that I've been on, trying to get myself back to the gym and to a place to where I can do the things I was doing before. I haven't even been on my bike. I haven't been on my bike since I got injured. So I haven't been able to do anything. But one of the things I've been doing every morning, I wake up, and I did a video on it where I go outside and I just basically greet the sun and just practice gratitude.
That's good.
Man, just all the things I have in my life, all the things I'm thankful for. And I just sit there and let the sun hit me and let the sun wake me up, and just put my feet barefoot on the grass, just being grateful.
That's good.
And man, it's like the most amazing way to start the day. It makes my morning so much nicer than the way that I was doing it before, which is to start with my work email and start with social media and start just hitting the pavement running and not even just like having any time just to have any peace. And I've been doing that for like the last 4 weeks or so.
That's good.
And I just want to keep this routine going as much as I can because it's so powerful. This just gratitude, letting the sun wake you up, as opposed to the coffee. I started drinking less coffee. I'm down to like 1 cup of coffee a day. I mean, I used to be a big time coffee drinker. I don't really need the coffee.
I watched your video today where you changed the diet and everything.
Yeah. And I've been doing that too, changing my diet, which is always been a decent diet. And I have some more content coming.
Because I want to see it, because I want to do that for myself too. Just find something that I can.
Well, I have something coming, Mel.
Nice.
I have some stuff I'm doing currently. I have made some changes just in the last week. I've made some dietary changes, and I haven't done any content on it, but I'm going to kind of talk about that. I'm going to talk about it, put it out there, what I'm doing. But I have made some drastic changes in the last 5 weeks, and I always ate well anyway. I don't really drink every now and again. I mean, like maybe once a year, maybe, possibly twice a year at the most. But I'm not a drinker. I don't drink soda. I don't drink sugary drinks. I eat very, very healthy.
That's good.
But I've even cleaned up some stuff even more. And there was some ways that I was eating, like maybe overeating, because I've lost like about 12 pounds since
that's good.
I've got my weight down.
When I seen you, I was like, oh, you look good, coach. Like,
I've really tried to get my to be honest with you, I didn't try to get my weight down. That's what's funny, is that these dietary changes I made is that I just wanted to make it just for wellness, just to get healthy as I possibly could be. And just by doing that, I just dropped a bunch of weight.
That's
just good. Like super fast. I started dropping a lot of weight. And also I think doing the de-stressing in the morning, just waking up in the right way, just dealing with stress. Stress is toxic. We were talking about that as well before the show started. Stress is very, very toxic. And I think I was dealing with a lot of toxic stress, and I've been able to get much of that out of my life.
That's good.
For the last 5 weeks. How long can I keep that going? We'll see. Because, stress is going to come. I don't necessarily look at stress. All stress is a bad thing, because stress is something that human beings since the beginning of time have had to deal with. But I think the kind of stress a lot of people are dealing with is just overly toxic. It's unhealthy. It's destroying people's bodies and their minds as well. And I feel like I was on that level of
Yeah.
stress. And so I'm trying to kind of work that out as much as I can. But yeah,
That's good.
no, as old as I am, I always tell people I'm a lifelong learner. I'm willing
Yeah.
to learn and grow. And there's always so much more about life that I learn about each and every day when I open up my mind and my heart.
That's good.
And I've done a lot of that in the last 5.5 weeks or so.
Awesome.
And it was needed for me it was like a wake up call for me. And my core values, those will never change, how I am, but how I go about doing
Yeah.
things, those have to change,
Yeah.
man. I'll
I
work
feel you on
myself to
that.
that. I won't be around in 10 years if I continue to
Yeah.
do my work schedule. And it's been rough. I went to the gym on Monday.
Oh, nice.
And were you there?
Oh, yeah, yeah, you
Yeah,
were
you
there.
were
Yeah, I'm
there.
sorry.
Yeah.
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 And I showed one technique. I wasn't even going
Yeah.
to show a technique, but I was like, maybe I'll show one. I had to.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why I stayed away too, because I was like, man, if I don't stay away, I'm going to end up hurting myself. And so when I went there and,
It
well,
was the
first of all,
Americana,
the
right?
Americana,
Yeah.
yeah. And I kind of switched up.
Yeah.
I kind of was looking at some different variations of it, and I was laughing in my head. I'm like thinking, yeah, they're like coach takes this time off and he comes back. The technique he wants to show is an Americana.
No, it's really cool because like when I get into side control now, I'll do it exactly how you
Yeah.
showed us how to do it when we're grabbing it real
Yeah.
tight. It actually works a lot better than just a normal
Yeah.
Americana. So when I've been using it, like since I've after you went to the gym and showed us, I've just been using that when I get in side control.
I love it, man.
So
I
yeah,
love
it works really good.
I'm gonna invent the Americana.
Yeah.
we're gonna tap everybody out with that. So you watch, bro. I'm gonna continue to hammer this home. We're gonna get a lot of submissions when we do competitions with
Yeah,
that
that's
Americana.
awesome.
So, but yeah, when I went to the gym Monday, it was really good to see everybody.
It's good to see you too.
But I didn't realize I didn't realize how emotional I was gonna get. Like it made me really like, and what I was outside because the women's class was going on. I just respectfully waited outside. And then when I walked inside, like, man, just like this rush of emotions just like came over me. And it was really hard. It was really hard. Like I didn't even realize that was going to happen. I just wanted to go to the gym and just see everybody and just step on the mat, see how I felt while I was on the mat. And then, man, just like these like all overwhelming emotions just got me.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's just a good reminder for me, just also how much I love jujitsu. And
everybody, you could tell we all missed you. We were like, oh, coach is here, coach is here. So it was good seeing you there.
This last 5 weeks being away from the gym has just been really crazy. Because I've been training for over 20 years and I have taken time off, but when this last 7 years, well, you don't take time off when you own a business. Like it's just been, I've just been doing so much over the last, again, however many years. It definitely did catch up to me. But going back to the gym, like I was just like, God, I love what I've been able to build, what the business has turned into.
That's awesome.
And it's just like a sense of pride too. Like I didn't realize that when I got there. I was like, man, I was really proud of and happy about what the gym has turned into. And but yeah.
How about the women's class has grown so much?
Oh man,
like, it's super awesome to see that. Like,
so thankful to Laura.
Oh yeah.
Who she had a friend who came over and did the news story at the gym. And man,
growing.
It has just sparked a little movement, and it's so amazing. I know Daisy, she posted up a flyer at Fresno State. That kind of started, I noticed, we were getting some people and it was being, because the ladies stayed super consistent with that, man. I give it to them because they showed that with consistency and dedication, man, you're going to eventually see the positive outcomes. And they were making a big impact on people's lives before it started to get big. But when I remember when Daisy posted a flyer, she's like, "Well, I posted a flyer at Fresno State and I got all this reaction." I was like, "Oh man, it's awesome, Daisy. Like that's super cool." And then I got somebody reached out to me on Instagram, said they wanted to do a news story,
Nice.
and they heard from Laura, and I was just like, "Yeah, come through."
That's cool.
And then, man, since then,
yeah, it's just been.
So check this out. So this is what happened. So he did that news story.
Yeah.
And my phone was going off.
Oh yeah.
Getting message after message about the gym. And it's still,
that's awesome.
It's still, I'm getting emails from the website, people reaching out. "Oh, I want to come and try the women's class. And I heard about the women's class, this and that and the other about the women's class." It is really, really that's cool. Amazing. And it just made me so happy. It just sucked because it was right around the time too when I had this happen to me. But it's just really, I'm super, super stoked. So big shout out to the ladies who run the class, to Colette and to Daisy, to Coach Sarah, Coach Stacy, and anybody else, any other ladies that come through. Because I know every now and then some of the ladies from the morning class come through as well. And then obviously Laura, thank you for setting up that story and believing in what we're doing there. And that was always a big, I guess, a goal of mine was to try to open up jiu-jitsu more to women. And Dave and I, we used to do free women's self-defense classes, and we've done them in different locations. We did some at Fresno City College. We did a couple there. And then we did a couple at the gym throughout the years. But I was so excited when, because I didn't want to do it. I did not want to take the lead for it because I wanted to get a group of women to train who would be willing to take on this mission. It was something that I'd just been dreaming about and wanting to have at my gym, because I've always wanted to see more women do this martial art. And I really do feel like so many women would benefit from jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
But it wouldn't be the same if I had a free women's class that I ran. Nah, I didn't want to do that. And so Dave and I, we did some seminars, but that was always the goal. I want a women's class just for the women, run by the women, where they can have their time on the mat.
Love it.
And then now we have the right group to run it, and they've been very consistent for 2 years now. And you're seeing the fruits of all that labor and all that passion. And it's just really exciting. It's growing. It's super, super exciting. And all that does is just bring the kind of attention that I want for the gym, which is positive. The gym is, again, I talked about it on Monday when I came back, where it's about giving back. 7th generation jiu-jitsu. The whole concept is thinking about how can I give back to my community, to my family, to make life better for the 7 generations coming. And it's the whole, saying my podcast, 7 Generation Jiu-Jitsu, our 7 Generation podcast. It's all interconnected. It's all about giving back. And that's what inspires me. That's why you inspire me, because since you've walked in my gym, you've given back. You brought your kids in to the kids program when I started it, and you've just been a big supporter of me. And I just can't tell you how thankful I am that you came into my life. My man, brother, you're like one of the best people I have met in my entire life. I just want the best for you.
You too, Coach. I appreciate you and everything you've done for me as well, and my family. We keep the circle going.
Exactly. Just grow that. We want to grow that. And there's a lot of people out there like you who want to do things and want to help and want to be a part of something that's just bigger than, growing their bank account. Don't get me wrong. Like, we all got to pay the bills. We want to grow our bank accounts. Yes. But at the same time, want to bring light to people's lives as well.
Yes.
And that's what I want the gym to do. And your business, that's what your business is doing. It's bringing light to people's life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you can't go wrong with that.
No, never.
No matter what the obstacles are, Mel, no matter what gets in the way, because I'm telling you, there's going to be people who are going to be, there's going to be doubters you run into. There's going to be people who are going to be critical of you, try to tell you how you should be doing things.
Mm-hmm.
When they're not the one who pays your bills, but
Mm-hmm.
they'll sure as hell be right there to tell you what you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you just follow your heart and your own personal experiences and the things that
Yes.
you learn along the way. And trust me, you will be successful.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
I know
it.
that was a mouthful, but I
Love
really,
it.
really wanted to get that out because you are an inspiring person to me.
Mhm.
And I'm inspired by people every single day, whether it's my students that I teach
Mhm.
in college. So many of them inspire me every single day to want to continue to just give the best lectures I can give and the most I can give as a professor,
Mhm.
or my brothers in my motorcycle club that inspire me, the movement, and then of course what we do in jujitsu. And um, that's what
Love
it's all
it.
about,
That's
man.
awesome. Love it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Love it.
So, anything else you want to add to the show? Like something else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Just very thankful to come and to have you as a friend, and you know, I'm very blessed to have you in my life, and to be a part of your life, and that's just, it's very inspiring and will keep me to continue to push forward, you know. So just want to tell you thank you.
Well, it means a lot to me, those words, and it means a lot that you're willing to come on the show as well. And
Mhm.
like we had talked about this the last time, making this kind of
Yeah, it's all, we
maybe
always have a good time, like
yeah,
good
it's fun, man.
conversations.
It's a really good conversation. So maybe we come back, we can talk about some other topics, or we can talk about the
Oh,
same thing.
we'll plan. We'll come back, but we'll end up planning where you can come out there with me, and we'll have a whole, podcast going on
There you go.
as
So
an event.
that's what's coming, y'all who are listening to this. I'm gonna go out with Mel on site to one of
Mhm.
his events, and we'll just do on the spot, um, talking about the
With
business
the
and how everything's
customers
going, the
too, it'll be
customers, but
fun. We having a
talk to
good
the
time.
customer. Man, that would be a really, really good time. And of course, I want to know, how can we reach out to you?
So, you guys can hit me up on Instagram, or Facebook. I'd say through Instagram would be better at melsbarbecue.com, not melsbarbecue.com, at Mels Barbecue, or my phone number
That's the
at
future. Are you gonna
yeah,
get? Are you gonna
right.
get a website?
Yeah, actually, I don't know why that came in my head right now, but it's just like it popped in my head.
Okay,
But
well, there you go. That's the next step. So
right.
there's going to be a melsbarbecue.com, just
Yeah,
not
let's do
yet.
it.
So it's Mel's Barbecue. That's your IG handle. And
IG
then
handle,
Facebook.
Facebook under Mel's Barbecue, and at my number directly, 559-878-7294.
All right. Hit him up if you're here in the Central Valley and you got, I don't know, birthday party, a wedding, some kind of celebration, some kind of event. Man, he has the best barbecue in the Central Valley, and he's mobile now.
Yes.
So definitely hit up Mel's Barbecue. Follow him on IG, and you guys can check out and keep up with the different events that he's going to. Also, we're going to be doing this sometime in the near future. So I'll be letting people know when I'm going to be on site,
Awesome.
hanging out with you. We'll get our outro music going here, and kind of conclude our show. But yeah, man, we can come back and do this platform again
Yeah.
after. We'll do that. We'll maybe do
The event,
the
and
event,
then
and then we come back and
see how it
do
went.
sit down.
Oh
We can
yeah,
talk about it, man.
definitely.
That'd be fantastic. Y'all, this is Dr. B. I'm here sitting down with Mel from Mel's Barbecue. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we'll be back real soon. Once again, later. I'll turn up my outro music. All right, we're still live on YouTube, and we're gonna see. We got some people in the chat right here. A couple of people.
Oh, nice.
Somebody said, "Thanks, Dr. B. Love it that you do your own thing." Thank you, Edith. And somebody said, "Thank you to both of us."
Thank you.
All right. Oh boy, a lot of comments here.
Yeah, quite a few comments. Huh? Awesome.
Absolutely. It's like some people are having a conversation with each other
Oh, okay.
on the
Yeah.
having a little chat. That's all right. That's all right. Hey, bringing people
good.
bringing people together. That's what I like to do.
Love it.
So, yeah. All right, y'all. To our YouTube folks out there, we got a few people still watching us. Appreciate y'all. We're out.